Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Samantha, our producer, is here. Hello, Sam.
Hello.
Did you get your nails did?
I did.
What'd you get?
I did get them did.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
I got, some fall festival type colors.
Halloween nails. I like it.
If you want to get tickets to the Solar Bears game,
Get to work.
I like that. It's my favorite
what am I
thing we
supposed to say?
It's my favorite thing
Nice
we do on the
nails?
show.
I don't
you
even.
could have said that.
No, you know I don't care.
I know, you
and
don't
I
care.
can't even see them.
Well, then, you know what?
Put
I
your
would,
glasses
you
on,
know what
old
I would
man.
actually prefer is if you would just look at her and say, like, I don't care about your nails. Moving on.
Well, that's what I said without saying it.
Yeah, he
but
did.
just going to the plug about the Solar Bears game, October 2nd. Tampa Bay Lightning versus Florida Panthers.
Yeah,
Get your
man.
tickets to the Tom and Dan section.
Exactly. Do it. And opening night, I'm going to be out there. I think Sam's going to be out there, and we would love to have you come out and cheer on our Bears. We got a guest on the line.
Yep. He's going to be in Clearwater October 2nd at the Billheimer Amphitheater. And from Toad the Wet Sprocket,
Yeah, man.
we got Glen Phillips. How you doing, Glenn?
I'm good, thank you.
So, Glenn, okay, we read a lot about you before we talked to you today, and I'm fascinated with getting my sons are 8 and 9,
There you
like
go.
passionate about something enough where they have the motivation to do something, you know? I think anything.
right.
Like, you know, and
Well,
you
Glenn was
started young.
Digital boys.
Not only did Glenn seemingly start young in music, but Glenn, you had a immense amount of success very early on, right? I mean, like you guys, Toad the Wet Sprocket, what you've done. I mean, and you're not
Touring
even old.
by
You're not
the time
even
he's
old
18.
now. Yeah, you're not even old.
I know.
And you're like, it's like you
Well,
you
I'm
had.
in my 50s now, but I was pretty much washed up by 27.
No, but see,
No.
no, not at all. Not at all. In fact, I was going to give you a compliment. My wife loves the 90s, and I swear on my daughter right now, there is no band that I've probably heard the hits more when it comes to 90s than Toad the Wet Sprocket. Like, if I'm in my wife's car, I can pretty much bet that every other day I'm going to hear you for the rest of my life because that's how much she loves the 90s and how powerful you guys were. Is it true that you guys had, like, roughly your 2 albums out and kind of chugging along and touring for, like, 9 months, 18 months before the lead single even broke and you guys became mega famous?
Well, that was our 3rd record. I mean, so we recorded 2 records before we got signed in '89, and I was 18 then, and that was Bread and Circus and Tail. Those both came out. So our 3rd record was Fear, and that came out I think when I was like 21, and that we were on the road for 9 months. Before All I Want started getting played. They almost stopped the record and sent us back to the studio, but they tried one more single, and that took us out on the road for another year.
I mean, was it exciting to have been putting in the work and then see it come to fruition and then go back out, or was it daunting because the road is difficult?
Well, it's both. I mean, we were young and had a lot of energy and ego, and and it was, since we were that young, it was the only thing that had ever happened to us, so we didn't have a lot to compare it to. For me, I think I was pretty disassociated. I kind of felt like this was something other people did, and it didn't quite make sense that I was, I don't know, that we, had songs on MTV and we're playing. It felt very, very surreal.
Yeah.
And then it was kind of over.
Right, yeah.
Well, Glenn, just going back a little bit, what was gave you the motivation to start so young? I mean, you started this band at 15, and I feel like that's just a ton of work for such a young person.
Very
especially
mature level of work.
Yeah, we look at it in today's lens, and we see 15-year-olds, and I see other 15-year-olds just playing video games on social media, not starting bands.
Right,
And
right.
I know there's some out there, but it's like a tremendous amount of
Or
work.
to take songwriting serious.
Yeah.
I mean, part of it is that, at the time, there wasn't, the internet wasn't there, or at least not for commoners' use. And if it was there, it would be an acoustic coupling modem, which was very slow.
Right.
Computer games were not hugely sophisticated and engrossing. I mean, the best one was probably Zork, but that was a text adventure.
Yeah,
Like, so-
absolutely, man. I forgot about Zork.
The available.
Hell yeah.
So, we were playing D&D, and, we were nerds. We all met in theater and choir, and there were just a lot less distractions then. So it's like, what are you going to do with your afternoon? And in my case, I was, kind of a depressive kid, so I would sit there and write songs about how sad I was. And,
Yeah.
First
it made a
emo
lot of-
band.
Yeah, well, I read a
Yeah.
lot that your mom and dad not so musical, but I read that your brother, is it true that he works for Korg and designs synthesizers and also quite an accomplished musician himself?
Yeah, he's an amazing musician, and he designed like the wave state and the wave mod are kind of his babies.
That's cool.
The Oasis. So he's awesome, and we were just a nerd family. I just think back then, like, there were less distractions. So if you wanted to play guitar, you played guitar. You weren't being pulled in 1,000 other directions. I mean, I think the big loss with the quick technology is our attention, and I'm as guilty as anyone else.
One of the things that you said in an interview I was reading that I found to be like powerful, and it kind of ties into this, is that can you talk a little bit about playing at Pat's Grass Shack and the fact that he didn't want any he didn't want any copywritten music played, so you guys were really given a place to perform originals and really hone your songwriting, correct?
Yeah, I mean, most bands coming out have to learn how to play covers and try to sneak in an original or two and see if they can get away with it. And we had the opposite. Like it wasn't like he was a huge fan of original music. It was more that he was just a really cheap bastard.
Right. He didn't want to pay
So
for it.
he didn't want to pay. It's like, somebody from ASCAP or BMA came knocking on his door one day and was like, hey, you play licensed music. You need to pay us. And he said, screw you. So, we had the power plugged. We started singing Happy Birthday one day, and, he pulled the power on the band and kicked us out. So he was very serious about originals only. But for us, that was great because we just started writing a ton of songs, and, that was the place we could play. And so thank goodness for it because it taught us how to be a band.
And Tom, and this is a side note, Tom and I were also talking about what a time to be alive, because I just typed in Toad the Wet Sprocket, Pat's Grass Shack, and you can find on the Internet Archive right now an entire concert from November 29th of 1986 if you'd like to listen to it.
Oh, God.
And you're a super fan.
You don't want to.
You know what I did? I did listen to it. I got to tell you, man, it's not as bad as you probably think. I thought it was really musical, melodic. I thought the guitar part sounded a little like The Police. It's good. But it's out there.
That's cool. Yeah, that's strange. That probably would have been like my dad recording it. We had one of those VCR camera recorders where you wear the VCR in like a sling on your back and then you carry the camera separately.
The humongous ones that almost look like a medical device. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Oh, yeah, version 1.
Glenn, I'm curious because I heard in an interview you say that fame always made you uncomfortable. And it's interesting because I don't think a lot of people think about the fact that wanting to be successful and famous is different than experiencing it.
Yeah, true.
And then but you can still want to be successful and famous, but be uncomfortable being famous. And I think people don't understand how that could happen. But can you talk about that?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think it's a strange thing because most people get in the position to experience that kind of fame really want to be there. It's the primary thing they wanted. And I was always very ambivalent about it. I kind of knew I'm a little fragile, and I knew that kind of public scrutiny, bad reviews, people looking at you, like that would really mess with my head. But I liked theater. I liked being in a band. I was, a freshman in high school, and they were all seniors, and they actually would hang out with me and make music. So that was cool. And so I had expected to be like a school teacher. I wanted to work in public school, and I had great arts teachers and social sciences teachers, and I was kind of wanting to head on that track because, I mean, I remember from my theater teacher, he was just talking about why he taught and that, you know, he loved the theater more than anything, but he realized with all his friends going out and doing the auditions that, like, he didn't want to suffer that way for the theater. He would be happy to teach. And I was like, that's me.
Yeah.
I don't want the scrutiny. So I think what's weird about us is I knew that getting in, and it actually also really frustrated the record company, was that I didn't really want to be famous. I was very ambivalent about it. I wanted to make music. I loved playing music. I loved making art, but I did not thrive on the, you know,
The
scrutiny or
celebrityism
the
of it all,
attention.
Yeah.
Well, and the celebrity is like you're getting attention for this thing that really isn't you. It's a field around you. And I think there are people who crave it and want it and feel like it will complete them, and they end up not doing all that well. I mean, you know, they're the ones you see on Celebrity Rehab because
Right.
I think they expect the attention will fill the hole, and it doesn't. And in my case, it was more, it all felt very surreal to me. I always felt like an imposter and like I was about to get caught and expelled. And so
Yeah, and you're young too. That's a lot of pressure
Yeah, for
at that
sure.
age to suffer from. It sounds like, you know, like imposter syndrome, and then you're like, oh my God, this pressure, and you're in a position with also other people that depend on you to do it. Did you ever think about that, like in the fact that you guys had this
you
band
can't
partnership?
just pull out because
Yeah.
it's everybody's life. It's your crew. It's all the people who work for you. It's, you know, it's this big thing, and you know, I think there's a learning curve for everybody, including, you know, management and everybody, and to be able to be like, this kid needs some therapy. This band needs
Right.
some therapy. Like, let's do some work around all this. And instead, you know, those were also the days, you know, unfortunately, that we're heading back to kind of, you know, the brand of masculinity that just tells you to stick it all in a box and not feel it. And so, you know, you just kind of get through it in whatever, you know, a half-assed version of stoicism you're kind of taking on. And so it was weird, is the best way to put it. And once again, if you're saying, like, I also realized that if any story to go, like, I'm not exactly expecting sympathy because, you know, it's like, poor you were a rock star as a kid.
Right.
It's not, like, it's not really something that people are going to line up and go like, oh, I'm sorry, I feel you, man. I remember when it happened to me.
Right. Yeah, I get it.
Glenn, I know you've been asked this probably a million times, and it's a dumb question, but where the name Toad the Wet Sprocket come from?
Oh, it's from a Monty Python sketch. It was this series of really, it was called Rock Notes, so it's like a fake rock news thing, and it had this series of terrible band names, and probably the worst of them was Toad the Wet Sprocket. And we had a gig, but not a name. And Dean, our bass player, was like, "Please, can we call it Toad the Wet
I
Sprocket?"
like that. I like
I
Dean's
love a goof
energy.
name.
Yeah, I love Dean's energy. Nice.
Yeah. So we did that, and then we were going to come up with a cool name, and then it just never happened.
Yeah, is it also true that you were the singer? I heard you in an interview, and you were like, I was the temporary singer until we could find somebody cool, and that didn't seem to work out, did it? I mean, like, you're
That's
the guy.
how I ended up in a band,
You're the
too.
guy, right?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, yeah, that is how it worked out. I was the bass player originally, and we had a couple singers. We had a great guy singing with us. He had to quit because his mom got sick, and he was taking care of her.
Oh man.
Yeah, I was definitely the temporary fill-in.
Yeah, it's like the people with their priorities straight, you know, like taking care of their mom, are not going to be in the band. You know, like, sorry.
Yes.
You know, this is a good person.
Responsible people don't make rock music.
Exactly.
And Glenn, last question, but I'm curious, in all the years of you playing barefoot, have you ever run into a problem where you hurt yourself on
That's a
stage
good
or
question.
electrocuted your feet or something?
Yeah.
Never been electrocuted. I've had a few splinters, so
Okay.
I definitely don't go barefoot on a splintery stage. Yeah, no, generally no disasters. Knock on wood.
Pretty
not
impressive.
bad, not
I mean,
bad.
that's a lot of stage time
Yeah,
barefoot
man.
with that. You think
Young
an
feet.
amp
Yeah.
would break your feet or
Young feet.
something?
You got nice young feet.
No, I mean feet are designed to walk on, so they do okay if you give them a chance.
Well, yeah, Glenn, it's been a pleasure talking to you. And again, you're going to be at Clearwater October 2nd at the Bill Heimer Auditorium.
Yes.
Capitol Theater.
Capitol Theater.
Yeah.
Go see Glenn and Toad
Yeah.
the Wet Sprocket. Hey, thank you so much for your time, man. If you're ever in Orlando, we'd love to talk to you again, okay?
Oh, thank you. Looking forward to it.
All right, man. Take care. What a very nice and smart boy.
I always like it when bands that have huge, become famous and the name becomes famous when it just starts as a flippant
Yeah.
joke or
It's
something.
like a placeholder.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Or
I
Like, well, I
wonder,
guess we
though-
got to stick with it now.
Yeah, and then sometimes I wonder if those bands like
you become more popular because it was so
Yeah.
organic.
Like I remember even as there are a lot of bands that I like that I don't like their names.
Has there ever been a huge band that changed their name like halfway through their career and it worked? Besides Chris Gaines,
okay,
I mean.
know one.
Yes, and it worked.
I know
Right,
one that
right.
was legal.
I heard he's going to do it again.
And I heard that too. That's the rumor. I heard one that's legal, but they're not a big band. It was a band that only Tony Munjet and I like called Rhapsody. What was their name? Emerald Sword, I think was there. Like they're like a band, and then they had to change their name. Are they Rhapsody of Fire? And then they got sued because there was another band. They just went by
Gotcha.
Rhapsody. You know, it's like one of those.
Okay, well-
but I'm trying to think of what you have a better question. Your question is: there ever been a band that got big and then they just flat out changed
They're
their
like,
name?
oh, don't like the name, we're changing
Well,
Gotta be. There's gotta be.
Okay, well, what about old Lady A?
Lady A. Well,
it.
that
I
was
wouldn't.
just.
That's an abbreviation of the original name, though, right? So
Yeah.
I don't count
mean,
that.
It really, you're not even going there. I mean, it's like
just
calling-
dropping the
it's
bellum.
like if you and I had a rap group and we called ourselves, wait, we're N-words with attitude. It's fine, right? It's the same thing.
Yeah. You're
The
saying-
name is still there, you know. I mean, Lady A,
It's
what's
the
the A
same.
for Annabella? You know, it's like, what the hell? How dumb do you think we are?
Pretty
By the
dumb.
way,
by the way, we're pretty dumb.
Yeah. Well, by the way, we do not have a rap group called N-words with attitude.
Good.
It is written in our bathroom by Tony Munjet.
No,
That's how it all
it's his
connects.
bug company. I
You
can't
can't say
the
that one.
C word, which is the bug that rhymes with the
The
N word.
C word, the
I'm
C
sorry?
word bug that rhymes with N word.
The joke's funnier on the bathroom.
Yeah, you just got to read the bathroom wall.
Anyway.
What else were we talking about?
Oh.
Toad the Wet.
Toads, Sprockets.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't even get to ask him why they turned down $1 million, but you know.
I was going to ask him about their Kickstarter disaster. I mean, it worked. The crowdfunding for their album worked. He just said he would never do it again because it was a nightmare because of all the extra stuff you have to do for those crowdfunding
That's
things.
the thing
yeah.
that sucks about like the money. When you see the money, you're like, yes,
Yes,
I'm
I'm
rich.
rich.
And then it's months
Yeah.
of sitting in someone's
You
barbecue.
filming some stupid.
Yeah.
You filming some video like, hi, Jerry.
I got to write a personal song for 50
Hey,
people today.
Happy
Yeah.
birthday, something.
You know-
Speaking of, you guys are on Cameo. You guys want to plug that?
We are on
Not
Cameo.
enough money. It doesn't.
No, we only have $55 in there.
Yeah, and we're gonna bet it all.
Yeah, we are.
But we
I-
need to get to at least
I
100.
wanted to get my idea was to get to $10,000 and then put it all on black,
Okay. Well, no, not a black.
and then we each take 10.
I can get us a 53% chance in an NFL
Okay,
game.
I'll take
a
that.
black
That's
will only
better.
get us a 48% chance.
Yeah, no, I'm at 53 is great.
Or actually, it'd be all the money we raise on the cruise. We bet it all on black. I like that because at
that's-
least we're all together.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
we live together, we fail together. You know, something like that.
Anyway,
God, I've heard Toad the Wet Sprocket in my wife's vehicles since we have been dating, married, with young child. And, you know, like I can say that it's going to either be that band or Third Eye Blind that I've heard the most in my ear holes of my life. That
Yeah.
or Something's Always Wrong. Those dumb songs.
that's a style of music I feel like that is very dated 90s.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it does it
Something
show up
so
around
loud.
currently? It's big.
I mean, there's indie bands.
But indie bands don't sound like 90s
I
indie
put-
bands, right?
It's coming back around. Grunge
Yeah,
and like
it's
90s
coming back
indies
around.
back.
But I put Third
it's
Eye
not
Blind.
really on the radio, though.
Third Eye Blind.
Radio.
Counting Crows.
I was talking to a lady yesterday about the radio, and she only listens to the radio.
Oh, how old
She
was
was asking me
She
radio
was a
questions. She's
ghost.
younger than me.
She's younger than you. Hold on.
She has kids. She
She-
questioned me about a radio station changing formats. She's like, "Oh, don't you work with the radio? Why did 95.3 change?" I'm like,
Like,
"I
you
don't
know.
know."
What did it change to?
I don't know.
Listen,
I don't even know what
God,
it is
I haven't
now.
followed radio since 2012.
Well, okay, listen, I'm not going to talk ass about radio. This is not what it's about. But
Oh, it's El Nuevo.
is she aware that her phone has unlimited entertainment she can
Yeah.
listen to?
She thought she was talking to a radio superstar.
She said no. She was not impressed at all. She said sometimes she likes to just turn on the radio and listen to whatever's on.
I do
Yeah.
too. I do too. But
Yeah, okay,
I
so
like
it's
that new Spotify DJ Beta. That's what I use.
You don't want to make the decision. You want someone else to make
I'm
the
sure,
decision
yeah,
for
I'm sure
you.
that's
Yeah,
part of
it's
it.
like
But they
getting a
have that-
paycheck versus paying yourself. I get it.
But isn't there something? I say that person's less fun than I am because isn't there something you're into, something you like?
What do you mean?
Like-
She might have other things she's like going on in her life. Just because she decides in the radio, like just whatever puts in her ears, she just goes easy.
I understand, but
I mean, she could crochet.
because-
She could be a crafter.
because you can listen to the radio about anything you want. So it's like if
no,
you're
no,
a crafter,
I will make this argument.
Can
It
you
is
listen
no,
to
no.
crafting?
You have to decide what you want to
Crafting?
listen to. Go there, find it. Fantasy
There's some work
footballers
to
and
it.
press play.
Yeah.
That is harder. You can
Yeah.
never win this one. It is harder than
is.
just
No,
Concrete Toad going
yes.
to his truck, turning
Yeah,
it on,
yeah,
and
yeah.
whatever is on, it could be JRR, it could be us, it could be News Junkie, doesn't matter. That's what you get.
But I understand the talk radio aspect of it because you like the personality. So the talk radio aspect of it will always. I'm not.
What if you like butt
you know,
rock?
like-
You put on JRR, you ride the butt rock.
Yeah, but and then maybe because you like Pat and Taco and you like
Love Pat and Taco.
yeah, great
Love 'em.
guys.
Love
so, they're
'em.
good. So you get in, but I'm talking
Sprinkle
about.
a little soup of Dave on there.
So say, but beyond that, if you're just like I like, some butt rock, right?
Yeah.
okay,
Okay.
Anything but rock. That's what it
okay,
stands for.
But then it's like, well, isn't there some butt rock you like more than other, or don't you want like unlimited butt rock from around the world? Or
Okay,
like
world
Butt
butt
rock
rock.
from around the
I'm just saying,
world.
World butt rock.
or
We might
just
be
like
onto a new. This might be a
more
International butt rock.
Because if you go
Tom
to
and Dan present International Butt Rock.
I guess Spotify
With Seven Dust.
or any other radio, internet radio, it like
and
costs money.
Five-Finger Death Punch.
Spotify's free, right?
Yes, with commercials.
There
it's
is a
free.
version that is
Yeah.
free.
But so if beyond the
I
personalities,
like to be
because
surprised.
the
I like
person-
to be surprised. Like if I went into even now, if I go into Spotify, there is an enjoyment level that I get, and this could be my age or just the fact that I like being surprised when it comes to music. I'll go in and I'll see it'll say rock mix. I don't even look at the picture. I don't even look at the names because it'll list. It'll be like Offspring, Lagwag. I don't even look at that. I just hit it, and what do I get? What do I get?
So it's kind of like pulling the slot machine.
It
Yes.
is, yeah.
like,
It
what
kind of is to me, yeah.
But
Or like like when you.
but
I
don't
put
you
it-
want a smarter slot machine? As far
Are you
as
talking about my wife?
no, like you want a smarter algorithm,
But it requires
curated
me
to
doing
you.
more work, right?
I guess you have to push Spotify.
Now, Spotify
On
does
your
have their DJ
phone.
X, that beta that I'm using, the Spotify DJ beta, and I like that. It actually
Okay.
hits the mark pretty good.
How many people are driving around without the ability to Bluetooth from their phone to their car radio? I mean, what
Right now?
percentage?
Without the ability, or just don't do it.
Well, just without the the car has the ability, or
Well,
does
we
it?
have
does-
one person right here. I know you have the ability in your truck, but you don't Bluetooth to it, do you?
Yeah, well, yeah, of course I do.
Okay, I'm just
What do you
making
think I
sure.
do?
No, I think you go
I
in
thought
there.
you said before you couldn't
Yeah.
figure out how to
I
connect.
figured
Oh.
it out.
Okay, see,
well,
I just
we
go to
knew-
the, like, did you see how mad he looked
Yeah.
at me? And I'm like,
Well,
I
what do
looked
you
at
think?
Sam, and I'm like, that's confirmed.
I'm
He
saying-
said that
You
before.
have said that
well,
before.
Thank you. My
sometime-
God, he
well-
looked like he's gonna punch my face.
No, sometimes it doesn't work.
I thought you were
and
gonna
I
fight
get
me.
Oh,
mad.
now sometimes it doesn't
I
work.
thought you were gonna
No.
punch my face.
So
and
it's
then
a 50-50
And
whether
I
it works.
also
No.
remember a lot when you had a hard problem when U2 partnered with Apple and they put that album on there. You had a problem where every time you get in your Subaru,
That
it
still
starts playing
happens.
U2.
Well, no, that still happens now with Eminem and
What?
and
Please say Kid Rock.
No, God, is the comedian died of a heroin overdose? What's
Mitch
his-
Geraldo.
Hedberg?
Mitch Hedberg.
There's so many.
There's a lot of them. Yeah.
That's the only thing I have downloaded on my iTunes is Mitch Hedberg and Eminem.
That's
Wow.
pretty good.
So-
That's
That
pretty
is,
good.
uh,
Yeah, you
By the
are
way,
a
what
dilly
year is
dad.
it?
You are a dilly dad.
By the way, multiple times, this years ago, when my sons were younger, I would load them in my truck to take them to school. I forget something, then I would turn on the truck, and then when I get back, it's blasting
Eminem
Eminem.
crazy.
He cursed crazy.
It's like Killing Kim, and you're like, uh-oh.
No, it was his new album.
Oh, the new album.
he
Who's
loves
listening to
kamikaze.
that?
He loves
Yeah,
kamikaze.
kamikaze.
Kamikaze. I know you're a kamikaze.
I don't even love it. I hated it. But I downloaded it on a road trip, and then I
I'm
can't.
gonna get me some M&M, pump myself up for this road trip.
And then every time I go, I'm like, oh God, instead of deleting, I just need to delete the album, but I go through the same thing over and over
Just turn
every
off
morning.
your iTunes.
When I turn my
Don't
truck
throw
on,
up. Don't throw up.
the phone automatically starts playing Eminem and Mitch Hedberg.
Do you ever close out iTunes or anything? If you
Yeah.
close it out, and you get in your car, it's not just gonna. It shouldn't. Arguably, it should not. If that program or app is not running on your phone, it shouldn't open it up when you
it
get in
doesn't.
No,
it kickstarts.
No, it doesn't.
Something happens where I don't even.
Yeah, you don't close any of your apps. I bet you got 1,000 apps open, and I bet half of them are porn sites.
I swipe up a million times.
Do you?
And close,
My
yes.
God.
Do you?
And I restart my phone.
Andrea
and stuff.
doesn't do it, and she's pretty logical.
No.
I look at Andrea. I'm like, how many apps you got running? She's like, 72. I'm like, Jesus Christ,
Yeah, no,
the CPU power of your phone can only handle so much.
But I never even use. I guess I use iTunes for my podcasts, and that's where
they get you.
it kicks on the music
Yeah.
when I start. I bet there's probably a button I can go and change.
Let's
that.
get back to your question because I don't want to. I don't
I
want to lose
forgot.
it. He said
How many people are driving around with the ability to Bluetooth and are not?
I wanna try to hit
without
this.
the ability.
Without the ability.
Like without the ability at all.
Is it
like you're-
50-50?
I mean, all the
No.
old school cars.
Yeah, but the cars started having that ability in 2005.
You got a lot.
I don't know about 2005.
I think there's a lot of
2008?
old men.
It's more than 15 years ago they started producing.
I had
the
it in my
Bluetooth.
07 GTI, so you can start with 07. I mean,
Yeah, and I think it was before that.
Probably.
So
your higher end cars did have it.
I think.
Oh wow, 2001 was the first Bluetooth
Yeah,
hands-free car kit.
Yeah, I'd say
Well,
it was. I'd
I
say
think built in where your stock car comes with a Bluetooth radio.
The Subaru Impreza in 2008
Now-
was the first model to offer Bluetooth
I'm
services.
sure there are plenty of companies that don't allow you to Bluetooth, right?
So it's got to be 75% of cars driving around you could Bluetooth.
Well, but I'm saying that I'm sure there are certain people that have company cars where certain things aren't allowed, and I'm sure there are dumb old men that just go with the radio because it's easy,
Yeah, no, I know the
So-
reasons. I'm just saying and yes, there's plenty of reasons why you just go to a terrestrial radio. I'm curious about the people that have the smartphone and then just choose terrestrial beyond the personalities. The personalities I could totally understand.
Gotcha.
You got used to they make you enjoy hearing your personalities, right? So that out the window.
Okay.
I'm talking about just go to for a specific genre of music instead of using their phone if they can, just for the fact that they don't want to push a button on their
Sometimes
smartphone.
I get overwhelmed in making a choice of a starting song, and it's easier for me to give that decision to somebody else.
But
like sometimes
Spotify offers that. You just put in, I guess,
What do you type in?
Any band that you like, and then it'll give you.
Yeah, but I don't even want to do that. You
Yeah,
tell
yeah.
me what I like. Like there's I don't want to. Sometimes I do get that where I'll be like, I want to listen to some really good classic 90s and early 2000s punk rock. And then I'm like,
Yeah.
uh-oh, who do I start with? Lagwagon, Pennywise, Bad Religion, NoFX.
There's like 5
Millen
people in
Collin.
the chat that don't have Bluetooth in their car.
Yeah, I think the percentages are
Wow.
gonna. I think we're off. I think we're off on the percentages. And by we, I mean you. But I mean, like seriously, we're off. We're
2016 Sentra doesn't allow Bluetooth music, only phone calls.
2016.
2016.
And they
We
didn't
have a
wanna-
2017 Jeep, no Bluetooth radio
well,
stock.
that's on you for cheaping out. Sorry.
I don't have Bluetooth in my car.
Oh, I gotta have
But you would
Bluetooth in
think
my
it-
car. I gotta have Bluetooth.
I thought in like 2017.
Need aux cord to center console.
Yeah, I thought it was always standard.
every-
I'm with you.
because it was just some cheap thing to put in there. Why not? It's like
Yeah.
I know it's
They
still
do fail a lot, though, Bluetooth modules. I don't know if that's a factor in, but I've had more Bluetooth modules fail in my life than any other product I've ever owned. I've had 3 fail in our Peloton, like where it won't connect to headphones.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I think it's because they're mass-produced and unreliable. But
That's not to switch gears totally
Please,
here, but
switch.
so we were talking to Glenn,
Yeah.
and I'm constantly asking how I could make my sons passionate about something and better, or whatever. And every time I talk to people like Glenn or anybody else that started young doing something, it's really not necessarily about someone
pushing them into doing
pushing
it. Yes.
but
they naturally went to it.
natural, but also the environment around them aided in that as
Yeah,
well.
a
because,
supportive family, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
no, I'm just talking about like he's like there was nothing else to distract me,
Sure.
so I wanted to do this, and it's
It's
kind
like you lock a child in his room with a guitar and like there's nothing else to do. Well, of course he became Yngwie. You know, it's like
and that seems damn near impossible nowadays in 2023 when you do have that other thing. So even referencing,
I mean, Maisie doesn't.
yeah,
well,
no,
but
no,
I didn't have
as in-
anything to do with that.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't necessarily think it is what you're saying, like the digital thing, because if the kid is naturally inclined to want to do it, they'll do it.
Yeah. So
Now,
so
could
there's nothing.
could you hack this a little bit? Now, I mean, depending on what people think is like, you know, I'm not getting into any type of abuse here, but could you, if you wanted to inspire, not Tommy and Max, because I think they're too old now, but like if like when your kids were like 1
They're
and 2,
washed up at 8 and 9.
No. I just mean like 1 and 2 before they formed anything. Could you have limited all the almost like you've limited their influence from all these other things, and you just only give them musical instruments, and all you and your wife are always doing is we're just doing music all the time.
Absolutely.
And you can immerse
indoctrination.
them, and you can-
indoctrination
yeah.
works for sure.
Or they'll turn their back on it when they get older.
Correct.
And
That could
resent
happen.
you for
That
it.
could happen too.
Well, the problem comes with you can indoctrinate a kid that's young enough until they get into the real world, and what that I mean is like they go to preschool, and they go to preschool early at 3-4 years old. You know, like you're sending your kid at least a couple hours, and then by the time it's real preschool, they're 5. So still, and then now they're released in a world where everybody else is living a different way and consuming things in a different way, and then like they're looking at iPads and involved in a Roblox and all stuff, and then I feel it's like, all right, well, yes, I can understand the concept of like just eliminating all of that will make them a better person, possibly.
Yeah.
But then they're also the
Weirdos.
the person that is different than the rest of their peers in society.
Right. You
which
make them
is
stand out.
Which
Yeah.
is also
Oh, which one do you want, Tom?
Yeah, no, it's hard. It's
I'd
a
say
hard balance. Like
being-
for me, I didn't even choose what she got into, right? Like hers
Well,
was...
I don't think you should.
No, you shouldn't. But I mean, I got lucky. If you're looking at it, right? It's just like a scratch-off ticket. We took her to a camp. She didn't even see other people doing it. She just needed a camp to fill some time. We took her to the camp. The camp happened to be a dance camp. She danced with the teachers, and then they said, "Hey, do you like this?" to her, and she's like, "Yeah, that's it."
yeah.
It's as simple as that.
Yeah. And-
Max likes breakdancing, right? Cultivate
yeah, he's
that.
sticking with it.
Yeah, but he doesn't want. He's not. I mean,
Didn't he ask to join it?
Yeah, no. But he goes once a week, and he's not practicing. He's not.
So get him in there more. Or practice with him at home. You start breakdancing with him.
I would
He's not-
love to see you break dance.
He's not driven. Maisie's doing 30 hours a week of dance, and you know
It's
what I'm
a
saying.
lot.
So it's like, and wants to do that. My kids, they don't want to do 30 hours a
All right,
week
well,
of
leave them
hardcore
alone.
grind.
Let them play their games. I don't understand.
I'm just asking, how do you make someone
You
better?
can't.
Yeah, I don't.
Oh, then
I mean,
it's-
but
oh,
I,
then
but
it's
see, I
all
don't think
or
it's better
nothing.
though. So I don't. I disagree with you there. I don't necessarily
I
think
don't
that
either.
Maisie's any better because she does that. She just happened to find something she
And
really likes.
Maybe they'll get really good at video games.
God, I that's what I want. I wanted to play nothing but Starfield with my daughter.
But
Also, don't make them work so much. They're kids. They're going to have to work the rest of their lives. Let them
you
be
think-
kids.
But I think
well,
he's
you think
saying,
I make them work,
yeah.
Sam? Their life
yeah,
is
but you're obsessed.
insanely
You're obsessed
fun.
with trying to get them to grind and
Yeah.
hustle, and it's like, man,
They'll
just
get
let them be
there.
kids.
I think they'll get there.
Well,
They're in elementary school.
No, I
Leave them
know.
alone.
Well,
They're just babies.
I know, but I want to make them better people, and their life is too good, and that's what I get scared of. I'm like, am I ruining
You
them?
provide that though.
I know.
Okay.
I
It's
don't
selfish.
think you're ruining them, man.
It's selfish because I want them to have a good life.
Yeah, I don't think you're ruining them.
But then you don't either.
well, I want
don't
them-
understand your logic because it's
Well, he's
it's
trying to
insane
figure it out.
person.
No, I'm scared that providing such a good life is going to somehow hinder them becoming.
All right, so pull back a little bit. That sounds like a you problem, not them.
I don't-
I know. Well, that's what I'm talking about.
I don't,
Their life is great.
From the Twitch chat room, maybe this will help you, from our buddy Ghost. He says, I think Tom is overthinking it a little bit. I was the same as his kids. I like doing maybe one activity a week, and other than that, I wanted to play Mario and watch wrestling.
Right.
And he's one of the nicest, most productive, cool people we know. So
Yeah.
I would say being worried about it is fine.
Yeah,
but
that's all I am.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's fine.
You know, I'm just worried that, like, I always look back and like, can I do something better? I hate to look back and then be like, oh man, I could have done this. I look back at my life now and I'm like, man, if I only would have worked harder instead of wasted time.
That's a terrible way to live, man.
In my 20s, no.
To always look back and be like, man, if I would have done this, my life would have been better.
Yeah,
that's how I get better.
I'm trying to see if I do that. I think
But you can't go back and change it.
I
so.
know. I don't dwell on it, and I
See,
don't.
that's the difference. I do.
But it's like you do. You say, I think about it all the time. That's called
I'm
dwelling.
I'm a dweller.
No, but here's the thing. It's like looking at your future self and then thinking, what would my future self want me to do now? Right? And then I could look back at my past and be like, man, I bet I would want myself to do this in the past because my life could have been maybe better in these areas, right?
Right.
So I'm like, oh, I wish I would have started living a healthier life in my 20s instead of in my 40s. You know what I'm saying? And then like I could have been maybe a better person.
So
or
you
whatever.
try to take that and then apply it to the things you're working on now.
So yeah, now I'm looking at my what will my future self want me to do now? And then I think to myself, my future self probably would want me to do more for my kids to make them better people now, because I'll think that in the future I'll say, man, I bet if I would have done this with Tommy and Max more or spent more time doing this, they would have been better people.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So,
Chat room again saying this is Tom's go-to when he just wants to come in for a landing, make us laugh, clown.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, that's not very nice. That is not very nice. That is a horrible thing to say.
I'm just talking ass.
I will defend my
I'm
friend.
just talking.
I will defend my friend. You guys say he's unfeeling, but when he bears his soul and shares some things that he feels about that might be emotions, you guys bully him, and I will not let you.
No, because when people try and give him advice, he just dismisses it. So it's like, well, I'm not really sure why you're asking.
He loves dismissing. He's the best at dismissing.
I love asking and dismissing. Those are my favorite things.
His name would be dismiss congeniality.
Damn it,
I
you
messed up my joke. I know, I messed up my own joke.
Let me get a piece of that cake, and then I punt it in the trash.
Let me get a piece of that cake. That sounded sexual.
Right in front.
He did say that, and he looked right at you when he said it.
And then it's like, I punted it right in the trash in front of you, and you gave me your cake.
Yeah.
And then it's like,
Okay,
why'd you do that? Why'd you even ask for the cake? I just wanted to.
I want my cake and throw it away too.
Well, help me. Maybe you can help me.
Okay.
So Maisie's all into this dance. You guys help me because, like, look, you're trying to.
I can't help no one.
Well, you can. You can help me.
No, she's already better than I am.
No,
she needs to help him.
No, you need to help. She's doing the dance thing. I want her to do dance and sing. Maisie has a good voice. She has a good voice.
Yeah.
She has good pitch. More than having a good voice, because I've learned, especially in listening to pop music now, that you don't necessarily need a good voice. You need a unique voice and good pitch, right? Like, you got to be able to stay on tune. You got to be able to, like, know how to sing.
Yeah.
She's got good pitch. And I'm like, oh, God, but then I don't necessarily want to push my daughter into a musical theater. That's how you live with your parents forever, I guess. You know, I mean, it's not gonna
become the most famous person. Look at Taylor Swift.
I don't know how to get her to sing more, though.
She's not much of a dancer.
She won't sing with me.
If she could dance, she'd be bigger than she is.
Yeah, she would.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe she's working on it right now. I got to teach her how to sing more, and I don't know how to do it. She doesn't have time for it.
I have it.
Take her to a karaoke bar.
Okay, that's not a bad idea.
I do this all the time with my
Keck
sons.
social.
Because they're singing Eminem Kamikaze in the truck.
Oh, Lord.
I say out loud that I'm like, I wish I had a son that liked to work really hard.
Wait a minute,
You
that's
do
what
not.
my parents used to do. Oh, I wish I had a son that behaved like Invisible Jack. Dude,
You're giving
that?
the Invisible Jack?
And then
my
they're
God,
like,
poor
I want to
Maxie.
be that. So
Don't
you have
do
to
it. Don't do Invisible Jack.
So you have to say, I wish I had
That's
a daughter
emotional abuse.
that liked to sing and dance.
I wish I had a daughter that liked to sing with her dad like that.
Yeah. Just say it out loud, and then she's like, "Well, are you talking about me?" I'm like,
Oh
"No,
my
no, I'm
God.
just saying that I wish I
Just in
had
general.
one
Even-
that like this."
Christine got it right, even though she forgot his name. She said, "Oh my God, you're doing the Invisible Brother. You are. You're doing my mom and dad."
Yeah, well, they knew.
Which I think I'm in. Like I think that's
why he's in
I go to
therapy.
yeah, this is why I'm in therapy every Thursday at 4 p.m.
Yeah,
is because of goddamn Invisible Jack.
Well, they created one of the most talented and crazy people I know.
That's the
you
nicest
can't have
thing-
it all.
That's the nicest thing you've ever said to me. I want to hug you right
You
now.
can't have it all. With the crazy comes a talent. You have neither, then you got a dud. A dud.
No
a
dud-
normal,
no dud
untalented
guarantees.
dud.
No dud guarantees.
You gotta have the damage that creates the
I don't
superstars.
necessarily think that's true because Glenn seemed pretty even keeled, man.
Oh,
He's
he told me he's
I don't
not a
know.
superstar.
I don't know. When I listened to him, I heard a little when he was like, then I burned out. I was like, there it is. There it is, Glenn.
But he brought it back
Yeah.
better than ever.
He was like, by the time I was 27,
I don't
I
think-
was pretty much washed up.
Is he playing? Is Toad the Wet Sprocket playing? Or is
yeah.
that a different? Okay.
yeah,
right.
they
Fully-
tour every summer.
I thought that, for instance, that he's in a new named band, and I said
He
that.
does some solo stuff,
Okay.
but
Yeah,
but no, they're
He,
touring this
he
summer.
pretty much has the dream job, right? So he gets to do his stuff whenever he wants and make his own
raised
schedule.
his kids.
Yeah, raise his kids and be with his
The school
family.
year,
and
Yeah.
then
tour
during
in
the
the
summer,
summer.
he goes and he gets to play
He
Rockstar.
can
with,
record at his own house.
yeah, it's pretty
And-
good.
and of
Pretty
course-
good.
Yeah, you build the life you want. If you
What? Write that down.
It's some people don't, like. I learned that as I got older, where I just thought like, oh, you want the most money then as possible. That's what. That's all that matters,
That's
right?
what it's all about.
Right? You want just to make the most money, and then you realize like, oh, there's the other things that are more valuable than that, and then you have to build what you want.
If you build it.
Ghost of Manu Bull has a perfect thing to end with. He says, everyday fatzos and normal untalented duds are the core of the T&D audience.
I know.
And thank you for your
Yeah,
service.
yeah, we got this
Yeah,
over.
we couldn't do
Real
it without
American
you
heroes.
duds. We should have a shirt that just says dud.
I'm a dud.
I'm a dud, too.
We're all duds.
Oops, all done.
Maybe we should have called them.
If
we
we
should have
were-
called them duds. All of our
Big
listeners.
dud millionaires.
I think our listeners should be called duds.
Yeah, if we weren't duds, we'd be on Joe Rogan right now.
Exactly.
We're Brooke
We
Kreischer and
started
Segura.
this before all these guys, and look at us, total duds.
Yeah, we saw. Oh, there they go. Dudding down here.
Yeah, no report.
All right. Bye bye.
That's really funny. I love the idea of calling our listeners duds.
Do you want to just wait till Will gets here in like 15 minutes?
Yeah. We'll
And we're gonna put him Thursday or Friday or
Wednesday 4.
I'm
We
sorry,
have
Wednesday.
a 20-minute segment.
That's what I
for
meant.
Wednesday.
That is
Thursday,
Thursday 1 and 2, and then we'll need 18 for Wednesday 4.
So we didn't have anything at all for Thursday.
No.
Thank you. He was nice. Nice guy.
Sounded like he was like sitting out at a bistro.
I think he has a really. It looks like he has a good life, man.
Yeah.
Like he's got it figured out. And some of their songs are so big that's back when, the deals you sign could probably like finance you for life, And he's got 4 huge mega hits. Christine said, at T&D Halloween, when I dress as Beth Dudden.
Yes.
I mean, you got my mind going in the bathtub areas, Christine. You're not supposed to say stuff like that. Inappropriate. It's the only scene of Yellowstone I've ever seen because you told me to Google it. ACT Thursday 1 and 2.
Yep. Huh. Okay.
You all right?
Yeah, just reading an email. We've been cordially invited to a magical evening with Remy.
A magical evening with Remy.
It's the Remy's Roundtable for your anniversary episode.
Oh my God, where's it at? House of Blues?
Tune in from the comfort of your own home.
Oh.
Join on Zoom.
I'll do it. I will. I will.
Dress
do that.
code, your favorite theme park gear.
I'm gonna show my ding dong. On Remy's I'm gonna pull my ding dong out, and I'm gonna do the full dud salute on Remy's podcast.
Who has more theme park knowledge, Remy or Joey?
Remy. Sorry, Joey.
Come on.
I'm just messing around. We need everybody a little edgier when they come in here, right? Are we doing anything before we? Did somebody knock?
I think that was his
Okay.
knee
Oh,
or
yeah.
something.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
knocking
Let me
your
check
knees
the
over
back
there?
just in case.
Knee knocking.
I'm even tapped my my shoe on the thing.
I walked around the lake this morning, and I can feel, because I'm in my feelings, I can feel my prostate I can feel it with my brain.
Okay, yeah.
And I can feel it throbbing.
Yeah.
And I can feel the cancer being manufactured within my body.
I feel it.
They're making
There's
the
like little workers
the
in
cells.
The free radicals.
I know you're feeling right.
I can feel the free radicals in my genitals right now making the cancer.
Is it okay?
And I can feel my hips. And then prostate cancer, did you know, and this is the way it always happens when you're a hypochondriac, did you know that prostate cancer, the first place it would go if it did spread, would be hips? Because it's right there.
You don't have prostate cancer.
No, but that's, I'm just saying, I'm not saying I do. I'm not saying I
do.
do. I'm just saying for a hypochondriac,
Tom, did you see the email Tracy sent with a press release?
Tracy, you got to ease up on the emails, okay? This guy's busy. He's a busy hot talk satirizer.
Most of the time he's on the phone with her. I don't know what's going on over there.
I think I know. I have no
Put your
idea.
glasses on. You can't see. Uh-oh, what was that?
That was a fart. Did you fart?
Hold on. Whoa.
Oh, man.
Hurt. I see it. What do we need to do with the press release?
Do I need to print this out?
I see the press release. What do I got to do with it? Can I read all of this right now on the air?
Spoiler alert.
Okay.
Okay.
I got it.
Okay.
I got
it. I'm writing a new song. Would you be okay if I write a new song? I started writing it last night about Castleberry Flatbed Santa Claus.
Yeah.
Just in time for the holidays?
Yeah, I want to get in front of it.
Yeah.
And then I also
sure
started
it'll be
80s Mom Has Got It Going On, but I almost want Sam to sing that or somebody else. Or Jackal or somebody. I started doing it, but I'm going to make it really small.
Yeah. No. Yeah,
I already got the song. I already got the little bit for it. But yeah, I want to do a Christmas. I don't do enough Christmas tunes, and Maisie's really into Christmas tunes. That's going to be my gateway to getting her to sing Christmas tunes.
Oh, do some caroling.
I don't know if she would carol. She's weird. Like, I want to be on the stage, but I'm like, hey, show Tom that. I'm like, well, you're on the stage. It doesn't like.
Does she only do group dances?
No.
Oh, okay.
She did her solo and knocked it out of the park, man. She's doing.
Yeah, but she's on a stage and then people are far away, right? She's not like put on the spot, like do a dance for Tom, dance for me, clown.
But
There
she
is
can
a
do it in
difference.
front of her contemporaries. She can do it in front of her teacher. She can do it like in front of anybody. You know, the hot big choreographers and all
I think that's the setting. She's been
yeah.
indoctrinated into the when she
Yeah.
gets into
Turn
that
the lights on. She's ready to go.
Yeah. That's what you need.
Yeah.
I already blew it.
No, you didn't. This guy started playing his shit at 5th grade. You got plenty of time.
Yeah, but he started way earlier. And again,
He's also a weirdo.
he
He sounded a
wants
little homeschooled.
He wants to. Yeah, I think he's just super smart.
I like making fun of homeschooled people. It's not nice, but I enjoy it.
I think
Well, it's safer to be homeschooled.
like
Not if your stepdad is abusive. It can be terrible.
Or your mom's a weirdo Mormon that ties you
Yeah.
up in the goddamn basement.
I couldn't finish reading that.
when I feel like there are some
That's horrifying.
because if you look at fame in general, you realize how kind of stupid it is.
Yeah.
And you start looking at like the business of fame, and it's just like the Taylor Swift, Kelsey thing. It's like it's just
So
all
burn out over that shit.
but it's just like a huge nothing that's a big story that everyone's talking about. It's just
waste
just
of
marketing and then you're like, oh god, it's just all marketing business, and so then you're kind of like, oh, this is a nothing.
Yeah, it's
And
a
then-
waste of time.
But there's something behind it. The reason why people want to be famous is like ingrained into our evolution. It's like we want that, or a lot of people want it more. Other people like they want the acknowledgement.
Glenn said in another article that he realized when he would do like Saturday Night Live and stuff how weird things would get.
Yeah.
What's up, man? How are you? It's Daniel. Pleasure to meet you. I'm gonna use the bathroom real quick. Do you need a drink or anything, man? Water's good. You got it.
Uh-oh. Hope we have water.
Pick that up this morning.
I know. I'll get you.
You can just have a seat over
In
here.
the video, I thought it was like a huge studio.
Oh no, we're a tiny little spot.
Right here?
Yep. And if you want headphones, there's some hanging on the front of that table, but you don't really need them unless you want them.
So we're still on right now on Twitch.
Twitch
but-
and YouTube, yep.
Well, we're on broadcasting on the
Video.
Twitch app.
Yeah.
But this will be aired tonight
Tonight.
around 8:30. So, and then we'll do a video, and we'll have our video editor put it out on all our social, and then put the app and everything like that.
Cool.
So.
Appreciate it.
And then after we're done recording this segment, I'll talk to you about like our beer fest, because I got some ideas about how we can promote the app at our beer fest too. So.
Awesome.
There are headphones right there if you want them. If you don't want
Do I
them,
need
You
it
probably
does
need them.
help.
Yeah, I would wear them just so you could hear yourself.
Yeah, it helps you manage like your own voice a little bit. All right, let's check these cameras. Oh, there.
Oh,
Here,
okay.
I got
Got
there they
snagged
are.
up.
I should probably cut that thing down so people don't hang the headphones on there.
Mm.
Oh, I like your glasses, man. Those are dope. All right, turn that on. All right, and you just want to get about that close to it, about an inch off, and
How's that?
Yep, sounds good. One more time, say something for me.
Mic check, mic
Perfect,
check.
perfect. That sounds great. Thank you, sir. All right. Let me delete this, and Tom, I can bring us back.
Yep.
This is a bring back, right?
Yep.
Okay, here we go. And 3, 2. Welcome back to A Corporate Time.
So we've got a guest on the couch that we've known for a long time. I've known Will since before Sanford was cool, and before Sanford was Orlando's #1 hangout spot.
Yeah. What is it
Yeah,
now?
like
Like it's got the best Orlando restaurants,
Yeah.
best
Yeah.
Orlando bars are in Sanford, and the
Yeah.
best Orlando street parties are in Sanford.
So how you doing, Will?
Pretty good. Happy to be here.
So Will's here to talk about the Historic Downtown Sanford app that he's made, and I suggest everybody download it because I just did yesterday, and I was going through. It's a great app.
Thanks.
And so let's start with that. Like, what made you decide to, because you've always had the Historic Downtown Sanford Facebook page, and
Right.
with a bunch of followers, and that's grown over the years.
It's one of the only pages I actually
Yeah.
follow.
Yeah.
Like
Awesome.
Well, anything that's going on Sanford,
I very
it
much
knows.
enjoy. Before, I think before I even knew of you,
Yeah.
or met you face to face, I think
Right.
I was like, "Oh, you're the guy from the thing."
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
yeah, I get it.
And so, what made you want to do the app?
Well, it's just an extension of our destination marketing that we do, right?
Mm.
So sometimes an app is easier to use, has all the information in there. And it was born right around the pandemic. I've been working on it for a couple of years.
Yep.
So I
Well, apps are hard to deal with.
Yeah.
We just
Yeah.
fixed ours.
Boy, do
Yeah.
we.
Still
Wowee.
working on it.
No, it was really difficult to produce, with coders and getting it all just right.
Stupid nerds.
And I've been working for like a week on it every night and day to make sure that it would go live correctly, because I submitted it to the App Store and it got approved within 4 hours. I thought it was going to be 3 weeks.
I know
Yeah.
it used to be. It changed.
changed.
Everything's changed.
Yeah, I was
Will,
like,
because
4
they're-
fucking hours. Okay,
Whoa,
Chris, I'm
my
here.
God, Will, back it down, my God.
Well, that's
He's got a gun.
He's excited. He's
I'm
excited.
kidding. I'm joking.
We can cut it out.
Yeah,
It's
no,
fine.
but you know what? I heard the passion in the statement.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
not
yeah.
wrong. You're not wrong.
Yeah.
That's how
It
we
u-
felt too.
But it used to be different. Like, and of course it used to be like technology was different 5
Right.
years ago than
we
it is now.
we
but-
sat in meetings and we'd have guys say, your app cannot be fixed. It's impossible. Or $30,000. I'm like, $30,000.
yeah. Or it'll be approved tomorrow.
Right.
It was like, wow.
Yeah, there's no rhyme or reason to it.
So it got approved quickly.
Yes.
So I've been working really hard on it. And one of the reasons that I wanted to do it, especially now where there's a parking feature, which is pretty cool. So not only can you find out about all our cool restaurants, and we keep getting new ones opening up. We have new craft beer bars. We have new cocktail bars. But I have a cool feature where it lists all the parking lots and it'll take you there. So if you're promoting an event such as
The beer fest.
the beer fest, and the example that I made is Pints and Paws, a lot of times people don't know exactly where to park. They'll go into the residential district, and that's what they don't want.
Yeah.
And we have these huge lots by the marina, which as long as we push them there, we should be fine. So we promoted the app and said, hey, our event, we're assigned the cheetah parking lot, the black bear parking lot, and the giraffe parking lot. Then you pull up on the app, like boom, and then you click, and it takes you there.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
Nice.
Like,
I like that.
and I like naming.
Every city should do this because
Right?
a lot of people have parking anxiety.
Yes.
And this would save a lot of. Some people won't even go to a place if they don't know how the
Well,
parking
you guys
is.
made fun of me because I go places before I go places.
Yeah, that's a little too far.
I do the thing.
I hear you.
That's totally insane.
yeah.
Never tell anybody that.
Totally insane.
But now with Google Earth, you can literally do that, right? With Google Earth, that's what I do.
Yeah.
Before I was going to Savannah, I'm like, let me check out this place out before I know
I
where am I
like
going
to
to
go
eat.
there.
Right.
I like to drive by it. I like to see like the patterns. I wear a disguise.
I didn't realize parking anxiety was a thing
Yeah.
until Daniel mentioned it, and then
Well, we don't like to talk about it.
Yeah, you make fun of my
It's
anxiety.
a bad word. That's the other thing why I delayed it. The word parking is a bad word now. People get worked up over the word parking.
Parking, not parking.
I
Try
always
that in a parking lot.
I've always looked at it like a gamble. Like I've never thought about
Some
parking.
of us don't
Yeah.
like gambling.
You love
And
gambling.
I drive,
You
and then
love
when
gambling.
it's full, I'm like, oh, bust it out. And then I'm like, now I'm on an adventure.
Oh, I hate it.
I'm like, maybe I'm gonna get killed.
Dude, Andrea's just like you. Andrea will go, and then she'll go to the parking lots that are full and be like, there's got to be one. And go in there, and I'm like, stop.
No.
What are you
Yeah,
doing?
yeah,
You're giving me anxiety. You're killing me.
I like to follow slowly behind someone for a long time, and then when they turn backward, I duck. Anyway, sorry, Will.
Wait, who's the crazy person?
No, hold on. This is our love language.
So
Just leave us be.
Let's talk about the animals.
His name is Will. It's
you,
Will.
You named all the parking lots after. Was there any did you pick random animals, or did you pick any sort of specific animals like this one?
I tried picking the most popular. I did a little survey, and giraffe was number one. And the giraffe's
Most
a
pop?
big.
I hate giraffes.
Well, giraffe is a huge monster animal, right? And
Yeah.
I chose
always
that for
wanna
our
hit him
biggest
in the
lot.
neck.
And I really want to promote the zoo, as a destination, historic downtown Sanford. You have a zoo that's 2 minutes away in a redeveloped Riverwalk. If you guys have been by the marina, that entire place they've spent over $30 million to remodel it and to revitalize it. It's gorgeous. And the zoo,
$30 million.
it's like 2-3 minutes away. And so we should tie in as a destination, historic downtown Sanford, especially now you guys have an Airbnb, we now are getting people spending 2-3 days. Sometimes their families, like they need more things to do. It's not just drinking, right, and eating all the time. What else can you do?
Yeah.
So, we wanted to promote the zoo, and I thought this would be a cool way to connect us with the zoo.
And I'm just telling everybody, download the app. It's free, and
That's
once you
nice.
have it, it's a one-stop shop where if you need hey, what's events are going on in Sanford, and then once you have the events, you see the parking, and then it takes you to the best parking spot.
Restaurant, bars, where to stay.
And it needed that because with the parking in Sanford, I think, there's so many people been going to Sanford so many years, and things have been built up. Like I remember when I used to me and Daniel's go-to parking was
Don't tell it.
the grass
Don't
field.
know.
It's now like condos, luxury condos or
it's
apartments.
gone. I thought you were talking about my other one. I like to park next to Goodwill.
Oh, yeah, we know that one.
I love that one.
But then Goodwill's like, quit parking. There's entire lots that no one knows
the
about.
way I see it, I'm like, okay, what's more important? Me getting on stage and hosting an event in Sanford or somebody buying some bum's pants?
But there used to be a lot more grass fields that
Yeah.
are not there anymore because everything's being built up. Will, how many restaurants in total? I know you probably don't know off the top of your head.
And all the
but
different types of
like-
cuisine, like different world flavors,
I feel like there's got to be 24 or 36 restaurants now, and then
It's a
bars. I mean, it's got to be, we're talking about 50 places to eat and drink in Sanford, right?
Exactly, more than 50. And so I've categorized them differently, right? I have restaurants and I have eateries, right? Because you have some amazing food at Henry's Depot, but it's really counter food, right? Like the current,
like
sweet
quick
and salty.
service, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I named them eateries so you kind of understand. And then I created a category gastropubs because the Sullivan, for example, is a great bar, but their food is amazing. They have a really good chef. And Buster's Bistro, they have really good
I love
food.
Buster's.
So I identified them as gastropubs where you know it's a bar, but you can expect really good food.
Yeah, it's custom food too.
Okay,
It's not
yeah.
like corporate. It's like it's
Yeah.
like even with the joint at West End and stuff, you've got Hollabox chefs making awesome food at the joint that's custom that people don't,
They don't think about it.
Yeah,
you pop in there for lunch and get custom Wagyu sliders.
Yeah.
Holy crap, made to order. You know?
And where do you see Sanford in the next 5 years, Will? Because just the growth in the past 5 years has been exponential, and it doesn't seem like it's stopping. And now with the local government kind of more on board and working more together with everybody.
Or where would you like to see it go?
Yeah.
Well, that's a really good question. And I have a little story. I'm not from here, right? I moved here about 10 years ago. I discovered Sanford, fell in love with it, started promoting it. I have a marketing agency like almost 30 years now, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of like what I do. And I'm for responsible growth. I say this because one time I went to, and I really shouldn't make any city look bad, but I went to this city, let's just say.
Yeah.
Right? And
was it Plant City? that one's a bad one.
Was it Castleberry?
Castleberry.
Plant City sounds awesome, but we're not good at all.
A lot of brown.
No, let's just say, I'm staying at a Hilton thinking it's this really nice Hilton, right? I'm going with my family, and it's a famous beach town, right?
Daytona.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
We knew.
Yeah.
Well, as soon as you said it was kind of crappy, we all knew.
Smell Deltona from a mile away. No, I'm from the land area, so it's like.
I had no idea, right?
Daytona was
Beach,
where we hung out,
and it was like, wow, this is a famous beach. I'm staying at the Hilton. I'm going with my family. This is going to be an amazing weekend. And we walk out into the street, and we saw all kinds of stuff.
Oh, you can get it in Daytona.
And I was
per
like,
capita, I think it's like the most dangerous place on the planet.
Is it really? And I did not know that.
Yeah, you can look it up.
Yeah. So I saw fights.
It's just
I
facts.
saw drug deals. I saw all kinds of stuff. And I said to myself, the Sanford thing had already started, and there was talk about this growth. And I was like, I never want to see that. I never want to see drunk people in the streets. It doesn't matter what we promote. We like the scene the way it is now. You see families, they hang out late at night. A lot of people bring their kids to the breweries. Like, that's a cool scene. As long as we keep growing in that way, I think it'd be cool. But can't control whatever.
I think what got Daytona is the
snakes and parrots.
It
was snakes and parrots.
It started off in popularity because of racing on the beach. And then it was like, hey, everybody, we can race on this beach.
And then the France family made it huge.
Yeah. And then that brought the initial trash push was the racing on the beach. And then everything else was like, well, where do we go from racing on the beach? Well,
I think high-powered automobiles and just running it as fast as it can on sand breeds criminals.
Well, I was like, you're running over sea turtles? I mean, imagine how many sea turtles.
Look at how beautiful this beach is. We should drive cars on it.
You can't even walk on the dunes without everybody yelling at you when they're racing on the beach.
I love Daytona. It's fun. It's a fun place.
I know. But it's like, then
the
it's
best
like,
people.
And you're right. It blew up so fast that it's like, how can we make money off this? Build as many crappy hotels as possible. Sorry, Roop. Good for them. They got better.
I thought you just called Will Roop, and I was like, oh no, it's happening. The Swiss cheese has settled.
He's apologizing to people. He's insulting with just yelling.
He doesn't listen to the show anymore.
I know he doesn't listen, but
it'll
get back to him. He's like, Tom was calling Daytona hotels
and then
trash.
I was like, shut it down. Shut him down. And then they'll shut him down.
You can have me killed. Anyway, sorry, Will. You
can have me killed, Will.
Uh-oh, Roop's calling.
So we are familiar with like releasing an app and then all the feedback you get, which
it's all positive, right? Like everybody's always satisfied. Everything always works.
Well, I'm releasing it today, launching it right here, right now. I haven't even publicized it, so Tom and Dan is the show. I'm coming exclusive to launch the app, so I'm going to get all this feedback this afternoon because that press release that I showed you, I haven't made it public yet.
Okay, all right. So
it's going to be launched right after the show.
Okay, so we're talking about it for the first time now. Now, my suggestion, just some advice, is don't ask for feedback because then you know why?
Don't ask for none, won't be none.
Ungrateful bastards.
You know why? Because then people are like, well, I liked it, but now they're asking for it, so I'm just gonna think of anything.
And it might help.
What's wrong?
I don't like the colors.
Yeah. This line is crooked.
It makes my hand look small when I look at the phone in my hand.
And then like I understand you want to know what doesn't work or what, but just your opinion on what were the actual content is, I don't want.
Yeah.
Something,
Okay.
you know,
All right, fair enough.
don't even say.
And you're speaking for Will.
Oh, something subjective.
Yeah.
I'm just when
Don't
with
waste
Will's
Will's
app.
time.
Yeah.
Don't
Well,
waste
I'm
Will's time.
joking.
You know, the Historic Downtown Sanford network on social media has gotten really big. I run a large group as well, and
Yeah.
I see how social media, what it turns into. You know, I'm constantly blocking people because I keep it as a positive only network. Like, you can't go on there and bash a restaurant. You just can't. You know what I mean? And if you say something semi-negative, I'm like, I may delete it. But if you start insulting,
sticks are subpar.
Yeah.
well, that would be fine. But no, people are mean out there sometimes on social media. So I'll
Yeah.
just ban people because you cannot. It's a promotional brochure is what Historic Downtown Sanford is, right?
Yeah.
The entire thing is to make ourselves look good. So I can't have people bashing local businesses and stuff like that. So I see what it can turn into easily. And so today I'll be promoting the app and I'll be getting feedback, and I'm sure I'll hear a whole bunch of stuff. But
You gonna have a thick skin for that, or no?
I hope,
Yeah.
I mean, the
Well, you've
app
been
is
in
pretty
marketing
awesome.
for 30 years.
Yeah.
The
I
app
mean,
looks really good.
Yeah,
man.
I
It's
sent it to a bunch
smooth.
of people that I know, like 50 people,
Yeah.
and got their feedback, and everyone was like, "This is awesome."
Great.
Yeah.
So
And do you sometimes you fall into when you're making an app, like everything works fine, it's got everything you need, and but then in your mind you're like, what else do I need?
Yes.
And then you start adding features that no
Yeah.
one even wanted, and then like not that you're gonna
We've
do
added
this,
the
but-
ability to talk to us at all times.
Yeah.
Yeah, and because you just want to keep growing it, but you don't. You're just like, all right, it can be good the way it is, and just more people need to know
Let's
about
add
it.
some
And but it's
Snapchat filters.
That's
want
a
to hear this
hard
crazy
game.
idea?
Yeah.
I have a crazy, expensive idea, but it's too freaking awesome not to at least
Okay.
attempt.
Okay, all right.
So you drive into downtown Sanford. Normally you come on First Street, right? Some
Yeah.
people may come from Sanford Ave, but you're not sure where to park, right? So you point your phone to the sky, and then you see a giraffe out in the sky or a bear, and the
sky
animal
giraffe?
moving. AR, augmented reality, and you just go towards that way. Imagine at an event. Where are the bathrooms? Where's the band? Where's check-in? You just point your phone to the sky, and there you see
you see
check-in
a
with an
giraffe.
arrow.
Well, that's too much.
And
Will.
then
Isn't that badass? Isn't that
You
badass?
can't do that.
Yeah.
That's impossible.
I like that.
Sky
That's
giraffe?
totally
Sky giraffe.
possible.
Is
A
that-
sky giraffe.
Yeah, yeah.
you
And then the
point
Sky
your phone-
Giraffe, he's like, hey, parking's over here.
Oh, and he'll talk. I didn't even think about
Yeah,
that.
yeah, I'll do the voice for free.
Yeah,
For
okay.
free. That's my
Got
gift
it.
to you.
The Sky Giraffe's gonna tell me where to pee.
supervillains are on stage. You're about to miss it. Sky Giraffe.
Drinking tonight.
Don't drink it tonight.
Yeah.
We know.
DJ Dom, he's at a Wild Wild West. Sky Giraffe.
That may be too much, Will. The Sky Giraffe. I mean, how much is it to build? What technology is that?
I like the
No, it
AR.
exists. It exists. Augmented reality.
Augmented
like Pokemon
reality.
Go.
We were just messing
You
with
ever
it.
play Pokemon Go?
No, we're not gay.
We make fun of a guy
I'm
that does.
messing around.
But yeah, no, I know.
I'm
So
messing around.
You
That was
see where the
Yeah.
I was
bathroom is.
pretending to be a child when I said that.
But I wanted to point towards like the dumpsters behind Weston. Like,
Yeah.
hey, a lot of people pee behind.
Hey, pee here, Sky Giraffe.
Well, that's cool. But yeah, I guess
Hey, it smells like urine over here. You're in the right place.
so. The app will, I'm guessing, evolve with what people want, and you'll start
Yeah.
to see that. Like, oh, I never even thought of this.
Yeah,
and
I have
then,
all these
but-
new ideas as well, like
but-
adding events. Like,
Yeah.
Even though you can see the events, but adding an event as a listing and all the details in that makes it even more powerful.
Yeah, and so then it's just when you go to Sanford, you go to the Your app and then find out everything that's going
I
on.
think
where
the
to
app
park. It's
should
easy.
be called Sky Giraffe now, right?
I really like
It's
that.
kind of like HBO Max just going to Max.
Yeah,
Instead
yeah.
of Historic Downtown Sanford app, just call it Sky Giraffe, and
Sky
let's
Giraffe.
just start the branding. We'll get Danger
I
Ray
like that.
rolling,
I like
and we'll
that.
just do it.
So, Will, are you familiar? Do you know anybody over at Cabana Live? Because I passed
Yeah.
by
There
the
we
other
go.
day.
Looking
Let's
for a
not-
hookup.
Yeah, let's talk dreams.
Sorry,
Let's talk Tom
okay,
Sky
well,
Giraffe.
Download the app first, and now this is
Yeah.
other business.
It's a
here.
great app, by the
Yeah,
way.
yeah.
I already got
Well,
it, and
let me talk about a little bit about Cabana Live and other places like the zoo. And so I feel that Historic Downtown Sanford now has become like ground zero for the city of Sanford.
Yeah.
And there's other things you can do, like Cabana Live. We don't have something like that in downtown. We can go swimming and party.
Yeah, that's far away.
Yeah.
The other side of the lake.
Yeah, it's at the Boat Tree Marina. So it's
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
only
Well, I'm
maybe
familiar.
Boat Tree Marina.
I'm familiar.
His boat's there.
Oh, is it really?
That's why I pass by.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
I pass by Cabana Live all the time, but I poke my head in. I'm
Yeah,
like,
he's
they're
like,
partying in
You
here.
can hear the
So
party.
it's like
They
8-10
give-
minutes away.
Yeah,
so I think we could promote all of the city of Sanford Sanford, not just downtown, but I think there's a lot other things to do if you're spending 2-3 days there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, 100%. And just being like, there's so much more with the lake. Like Lake Monroe is so gigantic, and then it
yes.
goes into the St. John's, goes all the way to Jacksonville.
Yeah.
You know what
If
I'm
you
saying?
want to go,
Like you, and that's the old. I mean, that's why we've talked about the history of Orlando. Sanford was the hub of Central Florida because of that riverway.
Yeah.
Like you would.
And then we stole it. We stole it from them. We stole their fame.
Yeah. You'd take the river to Sanford Marina, and then Sanford was the town because that's how you got goods and things down the river.
What do you want to do at Cabana Live?
Oh, okay.
You want to do the
Well,
Banana Live, Cabana Live?
Banana
Live.
There's a lot of cabanas,
Yeah.
and then I'm like, all right. I mean, there's
We're
money
gonna
in
have to
that.
call a special meeting. We have to get Super Dave out here. We need
It's
Busey
an
on.
event
He
space.
basically lives there.
Yeah, we need Busey.
I
We
know.
need Super
Yeah.
Dave.
Well, yeah, I need
Pat and Taco.
I need to
Cat Ridgeway.
get Will
Jim
to,
Colbert.
Put in a good word
Be
with
the
the owners.
liaison there.
Yeah.
We
Because
need
if you just go through the
Cabin
form,
Boy
then
from
they're-
Gabe Toberfest. Get him out there. We need David Jolly out there.
Yeah. We can have.
We have everybody out there.
I want to do the Tom and Dan
Banana Live, Cabana
No,
Live.
the Tom and Dan disgusting pool party. Cabana Live 2025.
Sky Giraffe presents.
I love it. I love it.
Sky Giraffe presents it's Slam Hogapalooza.
PP Pool Party.
Slamogapalooza?
Slamogapalooza.
We've never done a slam.
huge.
Would you?
Park underneath
Yeah.
the power lines. That's where I park on my boat. There's gators in there. Don't fall in the lake or the damn river. There's gators. I see guys feed them hot dogs.
So we do a Miss Slam Hog competition?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, I'll talk to Will. Me
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Will got a
Well,
lot
yeah.
of business to do.
I
Okay.
love the ideas, man, that flow here.
All right.
I love
Sky
it.
Giraffe, Slam
Yeah.
Hogapalooza.
Yeah. Download the app. Just search Historic Downtown Sanford on any
In
of
the
your
App
app stores.
Yep.
It's there.
It's a quick download,
yeah.
great little app.
Yeah, have on your front page just to reference every time you're in Sanford and you need to know where to park, things to do.
I'm surprised. Now, you can tell me to cut this part out. Sorry if we're done. But I'm surprised the city hasn't incentivized you and paid you to make it so you can pay for paid parking on the app. Or is all the parking free?
All the parking is free.
Well,
Even
there's
better.
lots of ideas
Even
here.
better.
Yeah.
Even better,
Yeah.
right? Like, even better than my ideas. You just look at the app and go park
Cut
instead
that
of...
out. Do not
Look
say
at-
the
yeah.
word. Do not say the words
Yeah,
paid parking.
Yeah, cut that out.
It was the whole.
No paid
the
parking. It's
whole-
free parking.
Yeah. All the parking is free, but that's a good idea. We'll write that down.
Yeah, write that down.
That Slam Hogapalooza. Write that down.
Sky Giraffe.
Sky Giraffe.
Sky Giraffe,
Yeah.
I think, is the best idea.
I think
coming
we
out
did.
of here.
I think we did great work today.
Will, thanks so much for coming in. We appreciate it. We'll
Thanks
be
for having
talking to
me.
you soon, and we'll be promoting the app and everything
Well,
Sanford for a
we'll
while.
be using the app. It's like useful for you and I that forget all the details of our own events in Sanford. It's actually going to be quite nice to be able to go on the app and get all the
Yeah,
details.
the AirTND is on there
Yeah.
and where
Yep.
to stay.
Yeah,
I appreciate
man.
that.
Thank
yeah.
you very much, man.
Absolutely.
We appreciate that. So
I
good
also
luck
added the
with it.
Bad Business flyer on there
Yep,
too.
no,
I saw that.
yeah.
Looks awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, cool.
We really appreciate that,
Absolutely.
man.
Yeah.
We love Sanford, and especially growing up in DeLand. I spent a ton of time in Sanford, so it's really cool to be able to work with you guys.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right, we'll be done for today.
We'll see you
And
tomorrow.
see you tomorrow.
Sky Jeff, forward giraffe away!
Sky Giraffe, I love it. And the
All
voice.
right, we did it.
Cool.
Great job, man.
Thank you guys.
That was
right.
crazy.
We will be back at.
No, we won't.
No, yeah.
Yeah,
that's
we're
right,
going
yeah.
to Sam's.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, we got to do one more. Do we have to do one more?
We finished Thursday, so it's up to you if you want to
No.
do anything Friday.
I think,
can.
let's
I do need
Keep it
intros,
moving.
though.
Yep,
Yep.
we'll do the